I am from the suburb of the South. 13 black and brown puppies scattered all around, catching fireflies, putting them in glass jars, from sitting on pop lap driving. I am from a hard-working mother and father, aspiring to reach the highest goal there is, following my busy dad everywhere, from town to town, state to state. I am from the city that is lit up 24 hours. Noise all around from voices, engines, and trains, from the smell of cigarettes and fast food. I am from fashion and McDonald's, living the middle class life in the hood, from mini mansion to duplex, multicultural schools in the projects. I am from a fashionable, silly yet genius boy, whose laughter and smile lift up my soul, from challenges and still overcoming. I am from the church house. Forgiveness is what we talk about, preaching it. But practice it? I think not. From all talks and no action. I am from honesty and faithful. People with resources willing to share with the unfortunate. Away from haters and stuck folk. From longevity and success. I am truly from overcoming all trials, having faith and trust in the one up above. Inspiration and motivation I need from the past looking forward. I am a shiro who will continue to walk and talk with confidence. Hi, my name is Kamilah. I'm hard of hearing in both ears. I was born with a hearing loss. My parents found out when I was 4 years old. I want to tell you a little bit about my parents. This is in the Ebony magazine that they published, and it talked about preachers married to preachers. This was the year after we moved from Nashville to Brooklyn, New York. I was born in Nashville, Tennessee, and I moved to New York when I was 5 years old. In this magazine, they talked about how to balance family life and their church life. And here in this picture, you see a picture of me, my brother, and my sister with our parents spending the day at the park. My brother and my sister, we are all 2 years apart, and I'm the youngest. But when I was 11 years old, another sibling was born, and he's my younger brother. This is a picture of when I was 2 weeks old. My sister was 4, and my brother was 2. We grew up pretty close. As I said, the church life was very important in my family. This is the day that I got baptized at a Baptist church. And I got baptized with my best friend on New Year's Eve. This is a tradition in the church that a lot of children like to participate in when we want to be a part of any ministry, the dance ministry, the choir, and the usher board. Here represent that education is very important in my family. This is my older sister graduating from high school, and my mom and my little brother. Both of my parents have master's degrees, and my father has 4 degrees, including a doctorate. This picture here is a picture of me and my mom. I was a part of a cotillion, and the cotillion is where we went to a church and they taught us how to be young ladies, young women. We had cooking classes, we had a fashion show, and we had a ballroom dancing. They taught us how to dance, and we had dates. It was pretty fun, and I definitely encourage a lot of young women to participate in these kind of events, because it really taught me even now on how to be a young woman. As I told you, when I was 11 years old, my little brother was born. This picture shows him being Christian. Being Christian happened when the parents of the child went to dedicate godparents to this child, someone to take care of this child in case something was to happen. But I'm showing you this picture as a representative of how much the church life plays in the role, and also our African American history. As you see, my parents are wearing African clothes. We really like to partake in the Black history heritage. My parents are from California, but my grandparents are from Louisiana. Here's the Creole cookbook. I really love to cook. And this cookbook I bought from Naugatuck, Louisiana. My mother's side of the family, her father is Creole. Although I did not ever get to meet him, but I want to participate in the activities and the tradition that they had in that side of the family. In my spare time when I was a young girl, I loved to write. I wrote lots of spoken words, a lot of poems, and some books. This book was written when I was in 3rd grade. And it talked about me being from Nashville. And the relationship that I had with my family, the activities that we did, and I have drew some pictures about my experience being from Nashville and taking the car, and we drove to Brooklyn, New York, to where I spent the next several years of my life in Brooklyn, New York, until the age of 19. The age of 19, well, right before I graduated, I went to Russell Sage College. This is not the diploma from Russell Sage College, but it's a scholarship that I received for being a part of the Girl Scouts. They gave me some financial scholarship and assistance with completing my Girl Scout. My Girl Scout Silver Award entails me to do a community service project. As I stated earlier, I was born with a hearing impairment and I am not fluent in sign language, but I definitely embrace my deaf community. So as a part of my community service project, I did a newsletter which talked about myself, my early life, starting school, my education as a hearing impaired person, and I was not always in special education classes. So this project allows me to teach my church family and my own family how to do sign language. And I gave them this booklet on different themes, simple words, letters, and sign language. It's funny because now my mom really embraces sign language. And I wonder why she didn't do sign language when I was a young girl. In 2009, I participated in a disability leadership event. And this is a leadership certificate that I received. We went to Costa Rica for about 10 days. And in Costa Rica, we taught other people there what our disability is like. The accessibility that we have, the resources that we've had, and how they can develop and continue to advance themselves with disability, accessibility, and what they're doing that we can take away from and come back to the U.S. with. This trip was very, very enriching, eye-opener, because I never was able to grow up knowing what it was truly like to have a disability. Again, my family were hearing. We did not do sign language, nor in my classes did I participate in sign language, nor was I in special education classes. But it still doesn't change the fact that I do have a hearing disability. And as I've gotten older, I am starting to have vision disability as well. To continue on the disability, all throughout my elementary and my middle school, I participated in the Olympics for those who have disability. As you see, I have a lot of medals. First place too. These are from when I ran track. I ran track for many, many years, and I even ran track in college. But this here was that one event that I participated in with other disabled people that I did not get to participate within my local community. So I definitely appreciate my public school system for allowing me to be able to participate in things that are focused on disability. It's not something that I am faced with or encounter in my church life as well as in my home life. So I was definitely appreciative of the educational community that I had. I also did a recent research project. Again, the church is very, very important. This is a project about religious community serving African American families and mental illness. So I did a research study saying, how can the church be involved in the process, be involved in the healing process, be involved in the educational process of helping our African American families and mental illness. It's not something that does not exist. It's something that we must face. It's something we must encounter and deal with. This is going to be my long-term project in which I continue to try to educate and teach others about how the leadership in the religious community can be effective in African American families. Right now, I'm not only accomplishing a master's of mental health counseling, but I am also going to be achieving my Master of Divinity. I would like to be able to incorporate what my parents instilled in me as ministers. They are active preachers and pastors and very active in their community on how we can be effective, how we can challenge, how we can change the way that we look at things from an African American standpoint and from the community in which we have to be able to work in the community at a time. Also, as part of the church, I dance. Dance was that main thing that I did to express myself. It was a way of worship, but it was also a way that I was able to teach and tell others about me without being able to speak, because at times I struggled with my speech. At times I was very, very shy at a very young age, and I wouldn't speak to anyone. I didn't even start talking until about I was 5 years old because of my hearing disability. So dance was that very important aspect in my life, along with writing, as expressing who I am, expressing how I feel, and expressing what I need from others. So I wrote books, and I also have a children's book that talked about my life with hearing aids and how I felt at that young age receiving hearing aids and what I was thinking and what it was like. And even now, I continue to encounter people who don't know what it's like to talk to someone who have a hearing disability. They think they need to scream loud. And it's not so much that I need you to scream loud, but speak clearly. So writing and dance were my two outward expressions of how I was able to communicate to others. So I would like to share with you a piece of a dance. And in this dance piece that I'm about to show you, it is performed in the church and it's at my family reunion. So it's pretty packed, and it lets you know that family is very important in my life. I am very close with all of my family, and I've incorporated some girls from both sides of my family to come up with a dance piece that we came up with in 2 days. And I hope that you enjoy this video. And that pretty much sums up how I became to be an expressive person, why I want to go out into the community and be helpful to others, even as a person with disability. Don't let disability hinder what you want to do and who you are. This is my 7-year-old niece and my cousin. She lives in California and she lives in Texas. You didn't stop it, right?
I did.
So now, as you can see, this has the life of a wife. I am now married. Got married June 16th of 2016. And this is a picture of me and my husband. And so a lot of what I've learned about my family, a lot of what I learned about myself over the years, I hope to be able to build my own family and incorporate those things and teach them as well about me as a religious person, as a dancer, as someone who is hearing impaired. And also, I would like to, the most important piece of my life that helped me get to a lot of challenges in my life is having a pet. In the poem, I said I am from 13 black and brown puppies. I grew up with 13 Rottweilers. And ever since then, I've always had a dog in the home. They're very connected with your feelings. They're very connected with who you are as a person. So having a pet in the home is some form of therapy for me that will always appreciate. So this is Zoe. I hope you enjoy my cultural piece about where I come from and how I will use this in the future with my own family, with my own children, and even in my community to help us to be aware as African American families, as disabled people, and also as with mental illness. Thank you.